evening, everyone, and thank you for joining Senator Cortese's Tax Preparation Town Hall. My name is Diana Torres, and I will be tonight's moderator. There will be closed captioning options available on our Senate District 15 website and on Senator Cortese's Facebook page. At the end of our town hall, panelists will have time for questions that can be sent through the Q&A function on Zoom, as well as through the Facebook chat feature. Now to introduce this evening's first speaker, Senator Dave Cortese.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you everyone on my staff and all the participants tonight who are going to share a lot of important information about people, about something that can help people tremendously, especially folks who are in a particular category in terms of income relative to their taxes. And I'm going to let the experts explain all that, but this is something that we've been sharing with folks going all the way back to when I was a member of the San Jose City Council and all my years on the Board of Supervisors, because we think the information is so critical to help people get the dollars back that they deserve. I thank Diana. I want to thank Tara Srikrishnan, who's helping with the communications and technical part of this, Brandon Weaver, Roy, Suzanne Wheaton, Fung Nguyen from my office, all of them for doing the outreach to get the word out to all of you that this is an important town hall to check into if you have questions about this topic. So I want to thank you very, very much. And Diana, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce the first presenter, and hope everybody enjoys it. I'll be sticking with this, of course, for the full hour, and I'll be back at the end to thank everyone one more time.
Sounds good. Thank you, Senator. All right, so I'll be introducing our this evening's panelists next, and our first speaker for the night is going to be Brenda Vogt. She's a taxpayer advocate from the Franchise Tax Board. Our second speaker is going to be Keith Kirshner, Senior Stakeholder Liaison with the IRS, and our last speaker is going to be Sophia Thalase, Program Specialist with United Way Bay Area.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me okay and see me? Fantastic. Senator, thank you so much for allowing us to have an opportunity to come here from the Franchise Tax Board and share some pre-filing information for your constituents. It's always a time that can cause some people some stress, and I have some helpful hints that may be able to alleviate some of that. So again, my name is Brenda Vogt. I am the current taxpayer advocate at the Franchise Tax Board, and my responsibility is to be here to help those who need some help. So if we want to start the slideshow presentation, we can jump on ahead. I don't know if it's showing. Is it showing now? I can't see it.
You'll just need to share your screen.
I need to share my screen. Oh, it's not giving me an option to do that.
Let me know if you want me to share it.
So do you want me to do the PowerPoint, or is it going to be shared?
I'll share it here. I'll share it.
Okay, thank you. I was under. Oh, terrific. That looks really good. I hope everybody else can see that okay. If we can go ahead and go on forward a couple of, keep going. One more. How about one more? There we go. So for most California taxpayers, well, not for most, for all California taxpayers, there's a certain income limitation that you need to hit before you have the responsibility to file a return. But I'm going to share with you, there's a couple situations where you're going to want to file a return even if you haven't hit that income limit. So here's some general filing requirements for you. First, if you have a responsibility to file a federal return, you also have a responsibility to file a California return. If you receive any income from a California source, and what we mean by that is if you work in California or if you perform some sort of service in California, but you may not be living in California full time, that's still California sourced income. So there may be a responsibility to file a return there. The best way to figure out if you have a filing responsibility is to go to our website, which is ftb.ca.gov. There's a lot of really good information in there. And up in the upper left-hand corner, there's that little magnifying glass. And if you click on that and key in, do I need to file? It will give you a lot of really good information to share. Are you married? Do you have dependents? What's your income level? Does that give you a responsibility to file? So as I said, even if you don't have any, you have to have at least $1 of income. I stand corrected. You'll still need to file a return, even if it says you don't have a filing responsibility on a do I need to file website, because we have something called the California Earned Income Tax Credit. So even if you don't owe, or if you don't have any other tax obligations, you may have the ability to qualify for this earned income tax credit. So I'm going to share a little bit more about that later. So if we can go to the next slide, please. So everybody knows that tax returns are due on April 15th, but this year they're due on April 18th. And the reason being is there's a federal holiday. So we like to make it easy and have one filing due date for both federal returns and state returns. So we say that it's the return due date of April 18th, but what we really mean is your payment is due by April 18th, because California offers an automatic extension to file all the paperwork or your return until October 15th. But you got to get that payment in by April 18th. Otherwise, you could get subjected to penalties and late filing fees. So we don't want any of that. Last year, we did have extensions that happened at the federal level, and we followed suit. But we haven't heard any talk of having any extensions this year. So remember April 18th. And let's go on to the next slide, please. So CalFile, if you would like to file for free and you qualify under CalFile, all you have to do is go to our website, ftb.ca.gov, and in the middle of our webpage, there's a box that says CalFile on that. And you can click on that and see if you qualify for our free CalFile. What it does is it basically walks you through a menu of items that you would need to provide. So right now, the best thing for you to do is keep an eye on your mailbox and your email to find out if you're getting tax documents from your bank, from your employer, your W-2, any 1099s that you may be receiving from doing independent contracting work. Gather all those together, put them all in one spot so that you can have everything ready, and it makes it much easier to do these free CalFile, or even if you're going to use a tax practitioner to help you with this. We also have something called Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, and if you make $57,000 or less, you can qualify for this. It's a free program. And if you are at least 60 years or older, you can also qualify regardless of income for our TEC, which is our tax counseling for the elderly. So on our website at ftb.ca.gov, we have information about where you can find VITA locations, and the IRS does the same thing at irs.gov. But tonight, Sophia is going to explain a lot of more information about VITA programs and how you can benefit from those. Next slide, please. So the California Earned Income Tax Credit. What this is this is a refundable credit. So that means that if you have a responsibility to file a tax return and you do owe income tax, or you're getting a refund, this is something that goes either to increase your refund or to decrease the amount of payments due. So it's a really wonderful thing for you to take advantage of if you qualify. So Used to be that you had to have a social security number, but now if you can get an individual taxpayer identification number, which is called an I-10, you can go ahead and qualify for that. The maximum credit this year, it says $3,027, but we increased that to $3,160. And with the federal credit, it's $6,728. So it's really important that you pay attention to filing return, even if you don't have a filing requirement, to make sure that if you have the ability to have $1 of earned income and qualify for this earned income tax credit, you can get this refundable credit and it's cash in your pocket. So there's a lot of really good information. There's even how to compute this on our website. So I encourage you to go there. If you have any questions, they can be answered there. Next slide, please. The California healthcare mandate. There is a very big incentive for people to get California healthcare insurance. And the reason being is that there is a penalty that can apply if you didn't get healthcare insurance. So what I encourage you to do is go to coveredcalifornia.com, .ca.gov, and enter in all of your information. They have subsidies, that are available for you to be able to offset the cost of the premiums for your health care. So based on your income level, you give Covered California that, they'll figure out how much they can subsidize that healthcare premium for you. And so your out-of-pocket can be reduced down substantially. The big key, though, is when you're filing your California tax return, make sure that you check the box 92, because if you don't, it doesn't communicate to us that you do indeed have health insurance, and our lovely computer system will automatically send you a bill for the amount that we compute that would be due because you haven't indicated that you have full year health coverage. There's also a form FTB 3853 for the healthcare coverage exemptions and penalty calculator. So if you didn't have healthcare coverage for the full year, you can estimate your penalty using that. And I also want to let you know about another form. It's a 3849. And what that does is each year we ask you to make sure that if you received a raise or a bonus or got a better paying job, that you communicated that with Covered California. Oftentimes we get involved in life and we don't necessarily think about all things taxes. But what happens, though, is at the end of the year, you need to make sure that you have received the amount of subsidy that was allotted to you based on your income level. So it's kind of a leveling up that needs to happen. So I just let you know that each year you'll need to take responsibility for doing that. And that could cause you to be able to receive more of a credit towards payments, or it may mean that you have an obligation to pay back some of the amount of the subsidy. So make sure that you do that every year. Make sure that you call Covered California, get in contact with them anytime you have an increase in income, because I really don't want anybody to get subject to that or to this penalty. So that's my helpful hints with those. The next slide we can pass over really quickly and go straight to the taxpayer assistance. If you are having a situation where you have a lien, a levy, a waiver, we're going to be grabbing some money from you, and you need a little bit more time to explain to us why that money isn't due, or to provide documentation that you need to provide, you can call this number, 800-883-5910, and they can put a hold on your account. And what that means is they can stop all the billing action for a certain amount of time, usually 30 days, so that you can get into contact with us through our normal channels. And what I mean by normal channels is the number on the letter or notice that you received, or contact the collector that you may have been dealing with. So always start with, if you get a letter from us, always start by calling the number that's on the letter. Or better yet, if you have the documents that we're asking for, go ahead and just fax those into the letter that's fax number that's given on that letter, because that starts the communication process and it also stops the billing process when you're in there. But if you do have a situation where you've tried the normal channels and you just feel as if nobody's quite understanding your situation, or you haven't been able to get an answer to a question, please go on to our website and search for unresolved account issues. And that will get information directly to my team in the advocate's office. And we can either get that request over into the right program area, or we can take responsibility for it and get the answer to you or explain the situation to you, so that you have an understanding as to why we reached out to you or what action is being taken. So that's information that I wanted to provide to you on that. The fax number's on the next slide, so if we could advance to that. If you want to fax any information into my team, there's the number 916-843-8330. Or if you want to use mail, I do caution you that due to the COVID pandemic, excuse me, we have very limited staff coming into the office because we're trying to keep everyone safe. So we will get the mail, but it may take some time. Next slide, please. Okay. Oh, goodness, I'm sorry. So oh goodness. If you are going to call into us, what I recommend that you do is go to our dashboard. It's called wait times. And what that does is it'll show you how long it will take for you to get in contact with someone. My clue to you, or my hint to you, is to call in Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, because that's when our lowest time is. We've been over inundated with a lot of calls for the Golden State stimulus, but we issued our last payment out, our payment request to the state controller this week. So everyone should be getting those really soon. But if you have a question about that, goodness, excuse me, please go ahead and call us. But if you have a tax question, this is definitely the way to do it. We also have something called chat, live chat, which you can go ahead and enter into a conversation through a live chat process versus being on the telephone. And that's a really good way because they're really timely in answering all the inquiries and can get you links to information that you might need and are very helpful that way. So let's go on to the next slide, please. So this is some of the information that we provide on our dashboard. It lets you know how long it takes for us to process returns and refunds. A lot of people want to know where their refund is, and this is a really good way to see the timeline on that. Next slide, please. Here are the wait times that I was telling you about for our customer service line, for our chat, and we have other ways for you to get through. So the customer service line is on the next slide, please. And this is our general number for everyone calling in. So it can get to be where there's a very long wait time. So I offer to you some collection contact center direct lines. So if you have a collection issue, you can call 689-4776. If you are a business entity and you need to get some information, our number is 888-635-0494. And if you do have a lien that you're needing to get resolved, please call directly 916-845-4350. We have people there ready to answer questions. And typically the wait time isn't as long as our general service line. So these are good numbers to have should you need to get in contact with us when we're asking for you to make payments. The next slide, please. My FTB account is a really wonderful tool for you to be able to use. You need to go in and you need to sign up and you need to authenticate that you are who you are, because we want to make sure that we're not disclosing any information. But this account has been recognized by the IRS Commissioner and also by the National Taxpayer Advocate. And it just really helps to provide information directly to you about things that are affecting your account balance, images of your tax returns. We give you a list and images of any notices we've sent out to you. So if you haven't received it in your actual physical mail, it may be able to, you may be able to view it in here. California wages and withholding. This is really good for those of you that are self-employed or making estimated tax payments, because you can go into your MyFTB account and you can look to see what estimated tax payments have been made and received, because that's one of the biggest errors that we have when people are filing returns, is they'll report an amount that's different than the amount that we have on record. And if you can get that resolved before you file the return, it will help you either to get your refund quicker or be able to resolve it before getting letters and all sorts of other things from us. Chat service, you can do that directly in the MyFTB account, and that's secured, so you can give us information that you can't give us just in the regular chat, because we don't want to disclose anything, and this is secured. So you can do that, and you can send us attachments in with those. So next slide, please. My team is a small yet mighty team, and as I said before, if you're having a situation where normal channels aren't working for you, we have case advocacy, so we can work on that. If you see something that you think is impacting more than you, and it's affecting a lot of your friends or family or other taxpayers, let us know, because we don't want to have errors like that. We want to make sure that we can get things corrected. And we also do education outreach events, such as tonight's outreach event that the Senator has allowed us to come on in to do. We have payment options shown on the next slide. For personal income tax, we have something called WebPay, which is free, and it goes directly from your bank account. It's a really easy way to get those payments in. You don't have to pay on the day that you enter into the WebPay. You can actually set it up for future amounts. The only thing I recommend that you do is make sure that it clears your financial institution, because sometimes a keying error can happen, or sometimes we had one situation where somebody drew it off of a foreign bank account that we couldn't honor. They thought they'd made their payment. We didn't get the payment from the financial institution. So it created a situation where the payment wasn't received timely. We do receive credit card payments, but there is a fee involved in that, because we can't accept credit cards directly by the state of California can't. So we have to go to a third-party vendor to do that. We can have directly online, you can set up a payment plan. So if you owe a balance due and you just can't pay it all at once, go on to ftb.ca.gov and go to our installment payment or web payment or payment plans, and you can arrange to do monthly installments directly from your account. And it really makes it a lot less difficult to make those payments. Checks or money orders, and also electronic funds withdrawal. We can do money transfers that way. So I encourage you to look into those, but just know that if you do enter into a payment plan, there is a fee. For individuals, it's $34 to set up, and for business entities, it's $50 to set up. So last thing I wanted to do was share with you on this last slide is ID theft. If you're a victim of ID theft, please let us know at 845-7088, or you can fax in information at 916-843-0561. We do often send out letters that ask for confidential information. For example, we have one where we think fraud's happening, so we ask for your social security number. well, nobody's going to really want to give a social security number out unless they know it's actually the entity. So if you go onto our website, if you have that letter in hand, go onto our website. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner, it will tell you, give you like FTB 3904 is our tax return filed, confirmation required. If you go and look in, search on that, it will give you the telephone number to contact that's given on that letter and the mailing address. If those don't match up for any of the letters you receive with the FTB, don't send anything in there. You may be becoming a victim of identity theft or a scam. And you can also call our general number at any time and they can validate and verify if that letter truly has been received from us. So we want to make sure that you are not providing information to anyone other than us. So this is one of the ways that we're trying to make sure that you can validate that the letter that you received was actually from us. So always call the number on that letter and or go to our website and verify that it's on there. So that was the information that I wanted to share with you. I'm not sure if there's any questions that you would like me to answer now or if we wanted to wait till later.
We'll wait for the questions in the end, but thanks a lot for that presentation, Brenda. It was amazing. I did want to emphasize a little bit. Our office is also available to our constituents. If you guys can't reach the FTB through their regular channels, you can contact our office. You can email the senator, senator.cortese@sen.ca.gov, and we'll definitely help assist you with your inquiries to the FTB. So next, we're going to be hearing from Keith, Senior Stakeholder Liaison with the IRS, and if we could get his slides up, please.
Is the PowerPoint up right now?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, great. So it should say get ready for taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Keith Kirshner. I'm a Senior Stakeholder Liaison with the Internal Revenue Service. I'm in our Oakland office, Oakland, California. And I'm going to talk about getting ready for taxes for this filing season. We call it filing season. And I just want to point out a lot of our information is on irs.gov. That's our website. And if you notice that web address, irs.gov/getready, that site, that page will cover pretty much what I'm talking about tonight as far as getting ready for taxes. So let me go right in. I know we're running a little late, so let me go right into my presentation here. Let's get ready today to file your 2021 federal income tax return. Planning ahead can help you file an accurate return and avoid processing that can slow your tax refund. My presentation tonight will provide steps you can take now to make tax filing easier this year, what's new and what to consider when you file this year, free tax return preparation resources, and irs.gov resources and online tools. So next slide, please. Now this slide has a lot of information, so I'm not going to try to get too technical here. But I want to just mention that organized tax records make preparing a complete and accurate tax return easier.
Okay, there we go. Your slides are up. So we should be on slide 2, right? Or slide 3?
Slide, yeah, there should be slide 2.
Okay,
Gather
perfect.
and organize tax records. Okay.
Got it.
So again, okay, thank you. So organized tax records make preparing a complete and accurate tax return easier. It helps avoid errors that lead to processing and refund delays. And individuals should have all their tax information available before filing to ensure the tax return is complete and accurate. They should notify the IRS if their address changes and notify the Social Security Administration of a legal name change. Remember, most income is taxable. Record keeping for individuals include the following forms. Form W-2 from employers, Forms 1099 from banks, issuing agencies, and other payers, including unemployment compensation, dividends, distributions from a pension, annuity, or retirement plans. Form 1099-K and 1099 miscellaneous and W-2 or other income statement for workers in the gig economy. And you may not be familiar with that term, gig economy, but these are people that work for, let's say, Uber. They're pretty much basically kind of self-employed. Sometimes they're treated as an independent contractor. Sometimes they're treated as an employee. So you want to make sure you just have all those forms that anyone sends you regarding that income. There's also Form 1099 INT for interest received and other documents and records of virtual currency transactions. Taxpayers should also keep end-of-year documents, including, this is new this year, Letter 6419, that's for your 2021 total advanced child tax credit payments, so you can reconcile advanced child tax credit payments. Letter 6475, your 2021 economic impact payment to determine eligibility for recovery rebate credit, and I'll talk about that a little more later on. And Form 1095A, health insurance marketplace statement to reconcile advanced premium tax credits. Okay, next slide. So this is slide 3. Your account online. This is very similar to, I think Brenda was talking about, I think it was my Ftb account. So this is the same thing for federal. We have a new system called the online account, and you can use this to securely access the latest information available about your federal tax account and see information from your most recently filed tax return on irs.gov. This is not mandatory. This is just a tool that you can use if you sign up for it to see your account information. Taxpayers who access online account can securely gain entry to the Child Tax Credit Update portal to see their payment dates and amounts. Taxpayers will need this information to reconcile their advanced child tax credit payments with the child tax credit they claim when they file their 2021 tax returns. Eligible individuals claiming a 2021 recovery rebate credit can log into their online account to see their economic impact payment amounts so they can accurately claim the credit when they file. Individuals who have not set up an online account yet should act soon if you want to do that, if you want to use that information to prepare your tax return. And people who have already set up an online account should make sure they can still log in successfully. Taxpayers with questions about how to create an account or how to reset their username or password can find help at how to register for certain online self-help tools at our website, irs.gov. Individuals should act now if they need to create an account. If they're unable to verify their identity online, there's a mail option they can use, but that will take a little longer. But if you can't do it online, you can also mail in, and the information's on our website. Now, taxpayers who have an online account will have the following options. They can view the amounts of their economic impact payments. They can access Child Tax Credit Update portal for info about their advanced child tax credit payments. They can view key data from your most recent tax return and access additional records and transcripts. You can view details of your payment plan if you have one set up. That's an installment payment plan. And you can view 5 years of payment history and any pending or scheduled payments. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is Get Banked to speed tax refunds with direct deposit. The fastest way for you to get your tax refund is by filing electronically and choosing direct deposit. Direct deposit gives you access to your refund faster than a paper check. If you don't have a bank account, learn how to open an account at an FDIC insured bank or through the National Credit Union Locator tool. You can find those tools on our website. If you're a veteran, see the Veterans Benefits Banking Program, or BBP, for access to financial services at participating banks. Okay, next slide. Now, these are a couple new credits that we've been talking about. Actually, this is not a new credit, advanced child tax credit. They just made advanced payments this year. So to reconcile advanced child tax credit payments, if you receive these advanced payments, when you file your 2021 tax return, you will need to compare the advanced child tax credit payments that you received during 2021 with the amount of the child tax credit that you could properly claim on your 2021 tax return. If you received less than the amount that you're eligible for, you'll claim a credit for the remaining amount of child tax credit on your 2021 tax return. If you received more than the amount that you're eligible for, you may need to repay some or all of that excess payment when you file. In January of 2022, this month, the IRS will be sending you a letter 6419 to provide the total amount of advanced child tax credit payments that you received in 2021. You need to keep this and any other IRS letters you received about advanced child tax credit payments you received with your tax records and refer to them when you file. So that's a very important letter, 6419. If you see that letter, you'll need to retain that to help you reconcile and file your tax return. Or you can go into an online account system to look up those payments also. Okay, next slide, please. Another credit is the recovery rebate credit. So individuals who didn't qualify for third economic impact payments or did not receive the full amount may be eligible for the recovery rebate credit based on their 2021 tax situation. If you receive the full amount for your third economic impact payment, you won't include any information about it when you file your 2021 tax return. If you're eligible, you'll need to file a 2021 tax return, even if you don't usually file to claim the recovery rebate credit, if you didn't get the full amount of the third economic impact payment. Avoid processing and refund delays and file an accurate return. You will need the amount of the third economic impact payment you received to calculate your 2021 recovery rebate credit using the 2021 recovery rebate credit worksheet or tax preparation software. In early 2022, probably this month, it should be this month, we will also send you letter 6475 to provide the total amount of the third economic impact payment that you received. You need to keep this and any other IRS letters you received about your stimulus payments with your tax records and refer to them when you file. Or you can log into your online account to securely access your economic impact payment amounts. Okay, next slide, please. We're on slide 7. Avoid refund delays and understand refund timing. So many different factors can affect the timing of your refund after we receive your tax return. Although the IRS issues most refunds in less than 21 days, the IRS cautions taxpayers not to rely on receiving a refund by a certain date, especially when making major purchases or paying bills. Some returns may require additional review and may take longer. For example, the IRS, along with its partners in the tax industry, continue to strengthen security reviews to help protect against identity theft and refund fraud. Additionally, refunds for people claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit or additional child tax credit cannot be issued before mid-February. The law requires the IRS to hold the entire refund, even the portion not associated with these credits. Some returns filed electronically or on paper may need manual review, delaying the processing if our systems detect a possible error, is missing information, or there is suspected identity theft or fraud. Some of these situations require us to correspond with taxpayers, but some do not. This work does require special handling by an IRS employee. So in these instances, it may take the IRS more than the normal 21 days to issue any related refund. In those cases where IRS is able to correct the return without corresponding, the IRS will send an explanation to the taxpayer. Okay, the next couple slides are about the free tax return. I'm sorry, next slide. This is slide number 8. And this is about the free tax return preparation for qualifying taxpayers. I think Brenda mentioned this, and I think the next speaker is going to be talking about this, but just briefly, the IRS's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, or VITA, and Tax Counseling for the Elderly, or TCE programs, offer free basic tax return preparation to qualified individuals. The VITA program has operated for over 50 years. VITA sites offer free tax help to people who need assistance in preparing their own tax returns. Now, the qualifying criteria are people who generally make $57,000 or less, persons with disabilities, and limited English-speaking taxpayers. Those that don't have English as their first language, they speak a secondary language as their primary language. You would qualify for this program. Next slide. In addition to VITA, the TCE program offers free tax help for those who are 60 years of age or older and specializing in questions about pensions and retirement-related issues unique to seniors. VITA and TCE services are not only free, they are also a reliable and trusted source for preparing tax returns. All VITA and TCE volunteers who prepare returns must take and pass tax law training that meets or exceeds IRS standards. Before going to a VITA or TCE site, see publication 3676 for services provided and check out what to bring to ensure you have all the required documents and information our volunteers will need to help you. Next slide. So how do you find these sites? Well, these sites are generally located at community and neighborhood centers, libraries, schools, shopping malls, and other convenient locations across the country. To locate the nearest VITA or TCE site near you, use the VITA locator tool, which is on our website, irs.gov, or call the 800 number, 800-906-9887. You can go to irs.gov and enter VITA in the search box to access these tools and information. Okay, and the next slide is my last slide. So here's some additional resources on our website, publication 5533, why you should create that IRS online account, and 5533A, how to submit authorizations using Tax Pro account and online account, so information about that online account. And then we have publication 5136, IRS Services Guide. Everything, again, is on our website, and I encourage you to look at that page called irs.gov/getready. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for bearing with me, and I hope I gave you some good information.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Keith. And just a reminder to all of our viewers that we are accepting questions through our Q&A function and as well as through the Facebook chat feature. And our next speaker is going to be Sophia, Program Specialist with United Way Bay Area.
Okay, just sharing my screen. All right, well, thank you so much for having me. I am with the United Way Bay Area's Earn It, Keep It, Save It Coalition, also known as the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, also known as Free Tax Help. That's sort of our new name going forward, a little clearer, but technically we're still Earn It, Keep It, Save It, right? My name is Sophia Salasa. I am a program specialist and I work on the free tax prep program, right? So just a little bit, some of the stuff has been covered already in the other presentations, so I'll skip over the things that have. But our taxes are prepared by IRS certified volunteers. We have a really thorough training that we conduct, and all of our volunteers will be certified to the level of the taxes that they're preparing, basic and advanced. We are limited in some scope as far as the returns that we we're able to do. We are able to do most returns of the folks who come into our VITA centers, which are located all over the Bay Area, including Santa Clara County, in different community colleges and different churches and other agencies. But so as far as the scope, we see folks with W-2s, people, we can take most interest income, most retirement income, most dividends. We also help people who have their own businesses, usually more people who are independent contractors. So if you don't have any employees or you don't have merchandise that you sell. So generally, people who might work construction or are just sort of their own sole proprietor, as well as gig economy workers. We see lots of Uber drivers, lots of, DoorDash, all of that. And so we're also able to help people who have I-10s, individual tax identification numbers. And we also can, if you don't have a social security number and you don't have an I-10 number, but you want one, we also have sites that can help you get that I-10. Okay, so all of these tax credits were pretty much covered, so I'll just go ahead and skip over that. But again, we can help I-10 holders, and so we really want to promote that since the Cal EITC is open to I-10 holders. I should also mention that Cal EITC is available to those who are 18 to 24 who do not have any dependents. So the federal EITC, if you're 18 to 24 and you don't have any dependents, then you don't qualify. But Cal EITC has corrected that because we know that many of folks 18 to 24 without dependents still have bills to pay, right? And then besides those tax credits, there's education tax credits, there's child care tax credits, credits for other dependents. So we want to make sure that folks are claiming those and able to get all the money back in their pockets that they're owed. All right, recovery rebate credit, also known as stimulus. That was covered. I'll go ahead and skip that. But I will say is that so people who generally, maybe don't file because you don't have any sort of earned income or you're below the filing requirement, especially we definitely want you to come in for if you did not receive the stimuluses. If you're below the filing requirement, but you do have some earned income, please come in. Those are the folks we're really trying to reach because generally, they have a refund and we want to make sure you're getting back all that money, right? Okay, so now I just want to talk about our site operation models. So due to the pandemic, we have had to adjust and we've come up with a few different ways of doing that, right? So we have we do have in-person services that are by appointment. And in these services, this is known sort of as our traditional VITA site. So here, the taxpayer would come in and speak with a tax preparer, be face-to-face, and be there the entire time getting your taxes prepared. And all of our tax returns are quality reviewed. So that means they have 2 sets of eyes on it. So after the taxes are prepared, you would sit down with a quality reviewer just to make sure that everything is okay. And then once that is done, we print it out, you would sign the tax return and we would e-file it with you. Now we can paper file, but strongly recommend e-filing so that that's much quicker to be able for returns to be processed. Then we have our next model, which is our sort of drop-off, pick-up tax preparation. So this is sort of a hybrid model. So in this case, you would still go to a tax site face-to-face, but in this case, you would fill out an intake sheet with your sort of basic information, drop off your tax documents, whatever you may have, like W-2s or 1099s or whatnot. And your ID, social would be just checked off to make sure it's there, right? You hold on to that. And then the tax preparer will prepare your taxes and would give you a call to be able to sort of do the same interview, same process that you would do face-to-face, but over the phone. And again, that would be the same with the quality review. And then once that is done, you would come back to the site, you would still look over your tax return, and then go ahead and sign it, and then we would e-file it for you. So we also have our do-it-yourself tax preparation events. So with this is for folks who maybe are more computer savvy and feel comfortable preparing their own taxes. We would give you a link to our tax software, as well as a screenshot guide on how to use it. And you would be able to come to our virtual event and be placed in a Zoom breakout session. So you can prepare your taxes on your own, but have a volunteer there to help you if you have any questions. And lastly, we have virtual options. We have our Get Your Refund option and myfreetaxes.org. So in these completely virtual options, you would get a link and you would essentially upload your tax documents. The way we verify identity would be for you to take a picture of your ID as well as a selfie with your holding up your ID. And then all of it would be done online. So you would get a call from a tax preparer as well as after the quality reviewer. And once everything was completed, you would view your tax return virtually, and then you would sign virtually as well through DocuSign. Might have another option, usually DocuSign. So that is, those are our options. And so there's, an option for everyone. We try to make sure that we are able to serve folks in a few different models. So what you will need. So actually, before I get to that, I did see a question as far as if we could help people who made 100,000 or 100 to 50,000. And I will say that while we do have that $57,000 limit, that is a general limit. However, some sites do help people who make more money than that. We do prioritize the lowest income people. However, I will say that no, we don't serve people whose incomes are that high. I really can't give you sort of a hard number as far as, if it's 70,000 or 80,000, there's different situations. Somebody might have really high, healthcare costs, or may have, many children or many dependents, and sites can work with you. However, it is, we do prioritize the lowest income people. And then also for our do-it-yourself events, our virtual do-it-yourself events, you can make up to $73,000. And so what you will need, you'll need a photo ID for everyone on the tax return. So if you're a married couple, both people, for kids, dependents, they don't really have IDs, but you need a social security card for all the dependents. And a copy is also okay. And then we would ask that you bring in all of your W-2s, your 1099s. If you have a 1099 T, which is like an education an education statement, any retirement statements, interest statements. If you're an independent contractor, you do have a 1099. If you have your expenses, those things would be really important to either bring into a site if you are going into a site or uploading at one of our virtual sites. Also, as was mentioned, direct deposit is the best way to be able to get your refund the sooner, right? And so if you have bank account information, please bring that, including savings account information, because we offer raffle prizes. So if you save part of your refund, even a very small amount, right, you could be entered to win a $100 raffle prize. So we are called Earn It, Keep It, Save It, right? So that would be the save it part. All right, how can you find us? You can find us by calling 211. And you can also find us on our website, earnitkeepitsaveit.org, and the IRS locator as well. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to do a new share so that you could take a look at our website. 1 second. Okay, so this is our website, earnitkeepitsaveit.org, and you can, if you needed the information in Spanish, you can do that by clicking this button. I'm not going to try to say that in Spanish, but that will turn the page into Spanish if you need that, or if you know anyone who does. Right, and if you scroll down here, you will see File Online with our File Online with help from our tax experts. And so this is where you can find the online tax preparation sites, so our virtual sites. And then if you want in-person tax prep or that pickup drop-off option, we have a map. So we are all over the Bay Area. So 8 counties in the Bay Area, all the way up to Napa, Solano, Marin, and then down to Santa Clara and San Mateo, and then everything in between. So this map is searchable by zip code, as well as if you typed in an address. I just sort of typed in San Jose zip code that I saw, and here. Here you have, you can see that it is searchable, right, by area code, and then you can see the map where you might want to go, or it's just listed here as like a regular list by distance, and it lets you know the hours of operations, how to contact them. And you can also search here, right? So for example, if you wanted to do prior year tax returns, so if you do your 2018 taxes or 19 taxes, 20 taxes, 2020 taxes, you can still do them. So I'll just go prior returns, and then it'll pop up, right? Also by languages. So let's try Spanish, right? And did it change? Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah, so Spanish. I'm sorry. Turn that off. Okay. And you could also do it by hours available. You want an evening appointment. You can go ahead and see what are available in evenings, as well as days available, right? So you're looking for a Saturday appointment, see what's available. And also site type. So you want in-person drop-off only. You can see what is available to you. So this is a good resource to be able to find a site. And again, if you don't feel comfortable using the internet or you just prefer a phone call, you can call 211. They will have all of our available sites and they can refer you. And so that is all I have for now.
Thank you so much, Sophia. All right, so for the sake of time, I'll jump straight to the Q&A portion of our town hall. And the first question that we got is, will we have to pay back taxes on the $600 check from the federal government?
So back taxes, I'm not sure. Oh, they're talking about the stimulus payments?
It sounds like the stimulus, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on if they were eligible for the payments. Remember, I covered a portion of my presentation where they'd have to reconcile it on their 2021 tax return. If they didn't receive enough payment, they may get a recovery rebate credit. If they were overpaid, yes, they may have to pay what you might call back taxes or liability for that. But you'd have to go to the your tax software to find out. First of all, you need to know what those payments were. I told you there was a form that we sent out, or we're sending out this month, a letter that will tell you what those payments were, or you can go to our online accounts service and see what the payments were, but it's actually reconciled in your tax return. So not knowing what your tax situation is, I can't answer your question. You may or may not have to pay back some of that stimulus payment that you received.
Thank you so much, Keith. All right, and so the next question that we have is, can medical expenses be deducted?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, can medical expenses be deducted?
Yes, if it's a certain amount. Medical expenses are deducted on what we call a Schedule A for federal taxes. And it depends on your gross income and how much those expenses were. There's a threshold. I can't remember the exact threshold right now, but it's a percentage of your adjusted gross income. If it's above that, yes, you can deduct some medical expenses. But again, it's depending on your personal situation, your income, what those expenses were. Yes, they could be qualified for deduction if they're high enough expenses.
Okay, thank you so much. And then this is going to be our last question. And it's similar to the one we answered earlier, but a little different. Are these free tax services offered to seniors over 60, not disabled, and had an average gross income of $100,000?
Well, I can give my answer, and then maybe Sophia might want to chime in. The tax counseling for the elderly, the TCE program, there is no income threshold. As long as you're over 60 years old, you qualify no matter what your income is. As far as I know, because that's the threshold. If you're over 60, they will prepare your return with no income limit. Unless someone wants to correct me on that, that's what I gathered from the TCE program. That's different than the VITA program. The VITA program has that have those income limits, but as far as I know, the TCE, tax counseling for the elderly, does not have an income limit. It's just the age. If you're over 60, you qualify.
Yes, I really can't add to that answer. As far as that high income, we don't really take consideration the age, so TCE seems like the better bet.
Great, thank you so much. All right, so that concludes all of our incoming questions, and I'll pass it back to you, Senator.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you very, very much to the presenters from the state. from the IRS and of course from the VEDA program. United Way took that over many years ago. I started to say at the beginning of this program that we've been involved in helping with the outreach, helping like we did tonight to let people know that these tax prep services are available many years ago. Honestly, the very first year that the program was doing outreach here in Santa Clara County, there were less than a dozen people who showed up to the outreach meeting. I know tonight there were close to 200 RSVPs by the time we got done with work yesterday. So I don't know how many people streamed and how many people watched, but I will tell you that these programs, TCE and the VITA program, are now serving tens of thousands of people with tax prep help in the Bay Area. So if you're in doubt, call them. If you didn't quite understand if you qualify or not tonight, check in with them and ask them yourself. We were, intending, and I think we did give you all the information so that you could do that. And if for some reason you can't reach them, you're always welcome to call us. And I know Diana gave you the email address for our office. She can give you the phone number as well. But we're there in the state Senate office, in our district office, and we're willing to make that hookup or make that connection for you until you get somebody to help you. But these programs are very good at responding to people, at helping people. And there's thousands and thousands of happy customers that didn't have to pay a dime for their tax prep. And in some cases got thousands of dollars back from the IRS or the state of California to help support their families. Thank you all. Thank you again to my staff. God bless you all and have a good night.